We are back on Taking Care of Business on Kern Radio Newstalk 1180.
I don't recall seeing that clip.
Obviously, they didn't use that clip.
No, that was not on the air.
For some strange reason. That was a great clip, though, between Vivian Vance and Lucille Ball. Clay, you had a question?
Well, yeah, I want to tell me a little bit about Vivian Vance and her relationship with Lucy, and then also you mentioned Fred from the I Love Lucy show that you never met, but you know so many people on the show.
Right. Fred is the only one I never met, or basically the only major actor I did not meet from I Love Lucy. He passed away when I was like 4. I was still living in Canada at the time.
Yeah, he passed away in 1966, and you met Lucy on July 12th, 1973.
73, and but that wasn't the first time I saw her. First time I saw her was in 71.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah. But with Vivian Vance, I only met her once, and it was at a filming of one of Lucille Ball's specials, and it was called Lucy Calls the President with Jimmy Carter. Lillian Carter, the mother.
Right, Lillian was the mother, wasn't it? Yeah.
I didn't watch the show.
So. No. But the president's mother was actually on the show. She was a special guest star. But Lucy introduced me to Vivian Vance, and I was a huge fan of course, Vivian Vance. And she said, Vivian, this is Michael. He's my number one fan. He's your number one fan, too. And I had literally pictures and everything for her to sign, and Lucy said, make sure you sign all these things for him. And then Lucy walked away, and then it was just Vivian and I for a few minutes, and she signed all my photos and books, and she was really nice to me. And it turns out that's the day she found out she had cancer, and I didn't know that at the time, but it was not a really good day for Vivian Vance.
Mm-hmm.
Yet she treated you like a star.
Yeah. She was so nice. It was.
You know, I have to tell a little story about you and I. I worked with your dad in the 70s. That's where you and I met.
Right.
And I remember going to your dad's 50th birthday party. It was at the house. And I remember him making the comment. This is like 1976, and there's an 11-year difference between you and I. And I remember.
So you're right now 47?
Oh, bless you, my child.
Oh, let me put on my glasses. I'm sorry.
It's the 20th year of his 47th birthday.
Yeah. I just celebrated the 21st anniversary of my 39th birthday, so do the
nice.
math.
Jack
So anyways, your dad said, God, this is my 50th birthday. I can't believe it. I just hit middle-aged. And I said, really? So you're planning on living to be 100? So I walked away, and I walked into your room. You were in there, and I could not believe all the Lucy paraphernalia. It was absolutely incredible. And every picture I've seen of your room, even your room today, you still have a Lucy room.
I do have a Lucy room. It's one room. I don't have Lucy in every single room of my house, but I do have a Lucy room. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the things that are in that room, Lucy herself gave me, such as I have a cast when she broke her leg, and she said, now you have the cast of I Love Lucy. I have one of her Emmy Awards that she gave me. It was a special award that she received. There was an award called Women in Film, which is a big award now still, and she received the very first year in 1977. She gave me that award. She knew I collected autographs, so anything with an autograph on it, she would give it to me. I have a lot of things that she gave me. Her daughter, Lucy Arnaz, gave me all the posters that were in her Lucille Ball's office when she passed away. Lucy Arnaz gave me those posters, so I have those hanging in my house as well.
Great.
Yeah.
You know, one story I want, before we get too far away from this aspect of it, and I read the book, and I love the book. It's fantastic.
And you could get it at Russo's Books today at 2:30.
That's right. And also between 2:30 and 5, and also on your website, which is?
The Lucy Fan, TheLucyFan.com. I'll even personalize it and send them out to you.
Oh, okay. Patty's on the line. She's our first caller. And Patty, welcome to Taking Care of Business. And you get the book after you're done with your question. Make sure Zach gets your address, and we'll have Michael autograph it and send it to you. And what's your question for Michael?
Are you looking for a job too, Patty?
Yes, as a matter of fact. Anyway, no. I actually, what I wanted to know, I'd heard that a lot of the comedians outside of the limelight are very shy and quiet, and I wondered, is that true with Lucy?
Was she shy and quiet?
Yeah, outside of the limelight. It's like Steve Martin is really quiet, they say, outside of the limelight on his own, and I just wondered if she was, or if she was just as animated as she normally is.
You know what? That's a very good question. She was not shy. However, she was not a funny lady in person. She was very to the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She could do funny things, but it had to be written for her.
So she never, baked a big loaf of bread for you or anything like that?
Right, but she would make things and then they would turn out to be Lucy-isms, or like a little Lucy Ricardo would go into her. But, I remember playing backgammon with her one day, and she would take a couple turns in a row. She would cheat a little bit. And that was like a Lucy Ricardo. No, I didn't take 2 turns.
Did you say anything?
No, I was playing with Lucille Ball.
Oh yeah, what are you going to say? Now, Patty, don't get off the phone, okay? Because Zach's going to get your address, okay?
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you so much. Good luck, Michael.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're having a conversation with Michael Stern, the author of I Had a Ball, My Relationship with Lucille Ball on Kern Radio Newstalk 1180. Patty just got herself a book, an autograph book.
And
if
you can get one too later today.
That's right, at Russo's. If you want to join us on the conversation, you can join us at 842-5376 or 1-800-640-KERN. Tell our listeners the Queen story. I love that story.
Okay, when I was going to go to England for the first time in my life, and I told Lucy I was going to go to England and I'm going to meet the Queen. She said, "No, you're not going to meet the Queen, but say hi to the Queen Mom if you see her." I said, "Okay." Well, every day in the paper, it would announce where the Queen the family would be, like nowhere usually. And she happened to be on the second to the last day I was in England. She was going to be at Kensington Gardens replanting some trees that I guess fell the year earlier with big storms. So I went to the park about, I'm going to say 3 hours early, and nobody was there. An hour passed, nobody was there. An hour before, they finally put out some stanchions where the Queen would be. And about 5 minutes before she showed up, maybe another 50 people showed up. I mean, there was like nobody there. And she walked down the red carpet. I started the applause. I went to a lot of TV show taping, so I started the applause for the Queen. And she planted, she did a couple shovels of the dirt. She walked down the red carpet once again. And I ran to that area where she was just standing there. And I said, "California loves you." And the person next to me says, "Mississippi loves you." And finally, I said, "Back home in the United States, I work for Lucille Ball. And she said, if I saw you, say hello." She turns around and the Queen says, "You know Lucille Ball? Please tell her I say hello." Turns out that the Queen was a huge fan of Lucille Ball, and she would watch I Love Lucy. So I went on the phone, and I called Lucy right away. And I said, "The Queen says hello." She goes, "The Queen knows who I am?" Lucy was so excited for me that I have a picture in the book, me meeting the Queen.
Yes, there is a picture of you standing there with the Queen in the background.
That's right. And you know what? I wish I had asked her to pose because you know what? I think she would have.
She probably would have.
Yeah.
Knowing the fact that you at that time had worked for
Lucille. She
Lucille.
was so excited.
Yeah. That's
so excited.
Great.
Well, there are so many pictures in here of you with so many famous people. I can't believe it.
And I only put in maybe 1/10 of those celebrities.
Wow.
Well, and you went to a lot of different things. For people that don't live in L.A., they really don't realize. I don't know if it's different now, but I knew growing up in L.A. I was on The Price is Right. I was on the Newlywed Game. I was on.
What did you win on the Newlywed Game? A toaster or?
Actually, we took second place and won like $300 or $400 worth of stuff, which at that time was a lot of
right.
card tables and perfume and all kinds of
okay.
junk. But my ex was on The Price is Right. We won a new car.
Okay.
Yeah. A 1974 Chevy Vega, so that gives you
an idea. And it was 1981.
Yeah. With that aluminum block engine,
right.
It was really a great deal. But, you could get on the dance shows and everything. We were on Boss City and all those shows.
Tickets are free to any TV show.
Yeah,
I mean, even today, tickets are free.
Uh-huh.
And it was free entertainment. Where else? I mean, I went to the Mary Tyler Moore Show and Rhoda and Phyllis and the Carol Burnett Show and Hollywood Squares and the Tonight Show. I used to go to the Tonight Show all the time.
Oh yeah, because I was on the Tonight Show. Yeah.
You were on it.
I went to the Tonight Show.
He was a rug.
And I went to Chico and the Man, and I went a lot. That I became their mascot.
Yes.
I mean, I became their mascot. Mm-hmm. So he would the warm up. James Comack, who actually created the show, would ask me questions, or I would ask him questions every week, the same questions, and he would have a joke, and I would come back with a response and.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah.
That's neat. Can you still do that today? Or
you can. I work at a TV show right now that tickets are free.
You work at Dr. Phil's.
I work on the Dr. Phil show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
great show to work on.
Talk about the Oscar story.
The Oscars. Okay, I went through Lucy. I went as a seat filler. A seat filler is the one who takes the seat from the celebrity when they go up on stage if they're winning or they're presenting an award. And I went, and you could sit anywhere from the first row to the 30th row, just so that the audience at home would see every seat being full. When Lucy came through the door of the Shrine Auditorium, she grabbed my arm, took me backstage, and even today you need credentials. And because Lucy was holding my hand for like dear life, that was my credential.
That's a great credential.
Yeah, at the Oscars, I got to go everywhere. She introduced me to like Jimmy Stewart, who is actually her next door neighbor, Kim Hunter, Gina Davis. I mean, these were all stars. And she took me backstage, and I could hang out there. But what happened was she gave me her ticket because she did not want to sit in the audience. I sat in the second row the whole time next to Michelle Pfeiffer. And I was telling Michelle Pfeiffer, that's, Lucille Ball. I'm a friend of hers. And she was like, yeah, sure. When they introduced Lucy and Bob Hope, Lucy comes out, and then she gives me a wave, at the Oscars when millions of people are watching. And Michelle Pfeiffer said, yeah, you really do know her.
Well, and it's funny because we're going to play that segment a little bit later, but it's on YouTube.
Is it? Okay.
You see her waving at you.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't see you in this segment,
right?
But you can see you waving, see her waving at you.
How old were you at that time?
27.
Wow.
28.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, when we come back, we'll talk a little more about that. We're sitting here with Michael Stern, the author of I Had a Ball, My Relationship with Lucille Ball, on Taking Care of Business on Kern Radio Newstalk 1180.